Hey friends, today we're going to finish up our book, Animal Tracks, Wild Poems to Read Aloud. So finish up our poetry unit. I hope you've enjoyed listening to all of these poems. And let's get started on this batch. This poem is called Dreamboat. If I could build a sailing ship and I could have one wish, I'd want my helpers all to be dolphins, whales, and fish. The swordfish would saw all the boards and cut the mast and rails. The shark, known as the hammerhead, of course, would drive the nails. For lights I'd like to use, if it agrees, the bright electric eel. The dolphin with its dorsal fin would be the sailboat's keel. I'd ask the sailfish if it minds serving as the sail, and for the anchor I would need a giant humpback whale. The captain of the sailing ship, if I could have my wish, would of course be the one who sails the best, the clever pilot fish. This next one is called Wild Romance. I love you. I'm not lying. I really go for you. I never knew this would happen. You are so dear to me. It's more than I can bear. Let us seal our love with a kiss. I will always be yours. I will never have any egrets. You are my one and only goal. I'll always love you. Birds in the snow. We scatter seeds upon the snow and watch the snowbirds eat. They leave a trail of little stars beneath their tiny feet. The child with his dream boat. The owl romance. And the kids feeding the birds. The sandpiper. Running up and down the beach beside the setting sun, the piper paces back and forth when each new day is done. He bows his head and takes a drink with his slender beak until a wave comes up, a game of hide and seek. He hurries home along the shore and spreads his wings in flight. He calls back to his friend the sea and wishes her good night. This one's called Seagulls. Seagulls. No one knows the reason why, but when you look them in the eye, seagulls turn and wave goodbye. Unless you have an Oreo and hold it up on tippy toe, that's when they turn and wave hello. The sandpipers in the sand, and the seagull with the Oreo. Right there. A snowy day in the Everglades. Never happened. Snowy day in the Everglades. I had a dream it snowed last night across the Everglades, and all the gators marched around in snowy big parades. Each wore a funny crimson hat upon their gator head, and when they slid down marshy slopes, their bellies became sleds. They made a snowman in the swamp whose tail was big and wide. They made snow angels in the snow and had a snowball fight. They raced out of the frozen lake to pick some Everblades, and when they strapped them on their feet, ice skaters in the glades. What does a hound dog do all day? I always wondered that. What does a hound dog do all day? He sleeps, he eats, he chases flies, he looks for pheasants in the skies. He barks, he growls, and then he snores. He wakes and begs for out of doors. He hunts, he howls, he loves kind words. He won't admit he's scared of birds. He runs, he jumps, he fetches sticks. He finds your face and then he licks. He gets his pets, he gets his pets. He gets his kicks from chasing cats. He sniffs, he tracks, he likes to roam. He finds your lap when you are home. What does a hound dog do all day? In a snowy day in the Everglades. And our last poem right here. What would I like to do? I'd like to share this day with you. I'd like to take us to the zoo. I'd like to see the kangaroo. I'd like to hear the pigeon coo. I'd like to see the kinkajou. I'd like to hear the kittens mew. I like to hear the baby new. I like to see the baby new. I like to hear the cattle moo. I like to see the woolly ewe. I like to hear the cockatoo. And when we're through at the zoo, I'd like to share tomorrow too. All right. So our concluding part, this wonderful book of poetry. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.